r/datingoverforty. Little Sister 10 says, how do your standards change when you are only seeking a FWB? My feeling is that a FWB should be someone I'm very physically attracted to and enjoy hanging out with, but our core values and world perspectives do not need to completely align. And, TBH, if I'm regularly hooking up with someone, I want them to have a relatively nice body, if not extremely fit, though I've gotten some hate for this, but if I'm taking care of myself, why can't I want this from a FWB? Ultimately, there should be a ton of chemistry, duh. I also don't know if this is a requirement, but I'm far more attracted to people when there is an intellectual connection. I'm steadily dating and having fun, but I don't want to start things up with too many guys, which seems very easy to do these days. For me, one of the primary goals would be to get some needs met, so that when I'm dating other people, I'm not likely to hook up with someone I'm not really interested in just because I'm horny, and I assume this is the same for others in a FWB situation. How have other people approached FWB? I'll also add that I've talked with several recently divorced men who are seeking the same, and it's very common. I didn't realize so many people don't understand how common this is. Liar the Nun says, my expectations for FWB are nearly identical to what I expect from a relationship partner. First of all, we must be real friends. That's already a super high bar, because for me real friends means we have each other's back, are honest and reliable, do fun things together besides have sex, are willing and able to work through conflict, etc. etc. Of course there must be mutual attraction as well. Values must be aligned to the extent that there aren't direct conflicts of interest that could get in the way of developing a deep friendship. I also need sexual exclusivity. The only major difference is, I don't need him to be child-free, my partner would ideally be that, contact can be less frequent, and I don't need commitment that extends to the future. This type of thing is of course not easy to find, but I don't enjoy sex with people that I don't know, respect and connect with mentally, so I don't mind spending some time looking for what works for me. Grumpy Feedman now says, this sounds like a boyfriend. Ian20 says, their family dynamics, financial habits, and health would matter for a long-term partner because it impacts my life too. But if it's just a short-term FWB situation, I wouldn't mind if he has a ton of debt, a complicated family, dietary restrictions, or follows a religion that's not my thing. Those things don't affect me in a short stint. I'd rather focus on chemistry, physical attraction, and enjoying the present for FWB. So yeah, I might be less particular and might not prioritize the values that I usually would for a long-term partner. Clabo77 says, typically when I've been open to FWB connections, I've been equally open to long-term romantic connections. When I was on apps, sometimes I'd be able to guess that FWB was going to be more preferable, usually due to an age gap. That is one way in which I'm more flexible with FWBs. There can be a substantial age gap. Other times I really did not know, and we figured that out together through initial messaging and then getting to know each other. It was usually obvious quite early if there was potential for relationship compatibility or if a FWB dynamic made more sense. In addition to age, relationship compatibility factors as distinct from FWB were mostly about reciprocal romantic attraction, compatible life goals such as reproductive preferences and a high degree of trust and stability/reliability. My standards in terms of looks was no different either way. Basically I need to feel sexually attracted if I'm having sex with someone, and how someone looks is usually one element of that, though there have been rare exceptions. Other big factors of sexual attraction for me are rapport, humor, voice, and scent. I don't have a specific need for high intelligence, but that is a type I typically attract and enjoy, both for FWB and LTR. Relatively compatible worldviews are also important to me either way. It was never my experience that having great sex with a FWB made me less inclined to want to have sex with other dating prospects, but Ambitious Touch 7395 says, weird. You asked about other people's standards, and you're getting a lot of responses about what your standards should be. Anyway, I have lots of types of friends. They range from the people I'd call to bail me out of jail to people I have dinner with a few times a year. Some I'm friends with because of a shared interest, some because of shared history, and some because we have fun together. Why wouldn't there also be different types of FWBs? My FWB and I are extremely sexually compatible, but I'm in no danger of falling for him or wanting a long-term relationship with him. Those are my biggest requirements. Is he exactly the person I would have described as the perfect FWB? Nope, but the longer we've been together the more attracted I'm to him. We are both satisfied with our arrangement for as long as it lasts. That means 2 people in the world are happier than they were a few months ago. Isn't that a good thing? r/datingoverforty. Baseball Bossman says, for what it's worth. For some reason I feel this needs to be heard and shared. Although no one is perfect, and thus 2 imperfect people can't form one perfect couple, I will say this. Sometime in the 70s my dad met my mom on a bus. Then again at her work, where he was a patient and she was a physical therapist. I'll spare you the funny story of how he reached out to her and of their first date, and get right to the point. Almost 45 years later they are 70 years old, happy, still very much in love. My dad ended up really successful, as in multi-millionaire dollar worth. My mom always the love of his life. My dad a big believer in capitalism and my mom more of what many would refer to as a socialist, and yet they still love each other so much. My dad could never cheat. See those oaths they took, yeah, they take that seriously. Compromise, yeah, they have it. Understanding each other's personalities, yay, that too. I'm blessed. I know it. To see such a love so real, but I wanted to remind you all it exists. It's out there. Hagbard Shafto says, yeah, I know it's out there, Jim, and that's wonderful for your parents. I'm honestly really happy for them. Sanatlikaitis says, to be honest, I don't want to be in a relationship that is held together by oaths. I was in one of those for 30 years. I want my relationship to stay solid with love and passion. Kakopoli says, love is the way. I'm torn a bit and have been thinking about it extensively. Is it better to have no option to check out, I made a vow and will stick with it, or for both people to have the option to check out, where both know the other can make the healthy decision to leave if necessary, therefore both know that the other person is there and truly committed? All-Conquering Sun says, one of the best couples I know has exactly opposite political leanings. He's a dyed-in-the-wool Democrat/socialist type and she's a kingmaker for the Federalist Society, literally picking conservative judges for submission to the Supreme Court under Trump and Bush Jr. They love each other fabulously. She did tell me about once a year they get into an argument over it, get sulky for an afternoon, and then all returns to normal with it out of their system. Otherwise Mind 8077 says, my parents have been married for 55 years. They have been basically indifferent to each other for most of it. I will not settle for that. I will choose single life rather than a partner that don't impress me much. Witchenightster says, how wonderful, I think when you find the right person it's the best life imaginable. Groucherasol says, your parents got together at a time when not everyone wore their politics on their sleeve. I could be wrong, but I'd imagine that our current political climate would preclude your parents from getting together in the first place were they to meet in 2024. I've no data to back this up, but I estimate that about 1 out of 10 married couples are really happy together. You're lucky that your parents have that. So why are you here, Indoff? It can't just be to brag about your parents. r/datingoverforty. Orsijojo says, what kind of photos are men looking for? There is another post on here asking women what they look for on a dating profile, so I thought I would turn the tables. I'm looking to get back on old and would love some hints and tips on what men would like to see. Mathematist says, just current ones with your current hair and current body with zero filters. People try to use that voodoo magic and hide things, lol. Spiffy Wicked says, okay, I'm a woman, almost 50 and size 16, and have had the best results using the following: 1 full body shot in casual clothes at home, 1 full body shot in a cocktail dress at an event, 1 selfie headshot of me immediately post workout, so you see me with no makeup and endorphin glow, selfie of me right after getting a new haircut, why not? I don't have any pics with anyone other than me in them. No friends, no kids. I'm not drowning in matches by any means, but I like to think I look better than my pics when I show up for a first date, and honestly that's the goal. Quern01 says, group photos are ridiculous, don't make us have to do group photo math to figure out which one you are. Mainly because we won't, we'll just move on. As shallow as it sounds, don't lead with a picture of you and your much better looking BFF. Finally, no pictures of your kids, even if you mask their faces. To me, including children on a dating profile demonstrates a lack of judgment. Clover 426 says, I'm a woman but clear, not heavily filtered / angled pics including at least 1 full body. That's the key from all the men I've talked to. They want to be able to get an accurate idea of what you look like and your body shape. Real Somadude says, hold a dead fish. Swingsad27 says, clear shot of your face, smiling, as you normally look. Recent with at the very least the hair you presently have. I know, asking a lot, a clear, full body shot, in nice fitting clothes, so I can get some kind of idea of your build / overall look. The rest is just fluff, don't care if you've been to Machu Picchu, don't care if you've sat in a hanging papas and chair drinking wine, don't care if you've been on a boat. Playful fun photos are nice, bad selfies, group shots and filters are not. That's all for this video, thank you for watching, please subscribe.